The Flying Kipper. It was a hot summer's day on the island of Sodor, and the 4 big engines were in the shed sitting all day when the Fat Controller arrived. He spoke to the 4 engines. The Flying Kipper is free to be pulled by anyone who wants to pull it today. Any volunteers? Me, said Connor. I've never pulled it before, so I get to have a go. Neville was very cross. But sir, what about me? I've always wanted to pull the Flying Kipper. I chose Connor to do it, and it's Connor only that can do it immediately. But sir, moaned Neville. No, Neville, said the Fat Controller. You will do as you're told, and that's the sort of thing I want on my railway. Neville was cross. He got out of the shed and puffed away. He went to the yard. He found Mighty Mac sitting in a siding all day in the hot weather. Neville spoke to Mighty Mac immediately. This isn't fair, he thought. What's not fair? Asked Mighty Mac. Connor's pulling the Flying Kipper, and I wanted to pull it. Well, it's his choice, said Mighty. And Neville, you're still young, so you still need to learn. That's right, said Mac. You're still a young engine. You haven't quite learned from the Fat Controller's orders yet. I'm young, right? He said. I wish I wasn't. I wish I could be the only engine who'll always want everything. Goodbye, you two. Neville puffed crossly away. He is so going to get himself into trouble today, said Mac. I know, said Mighty, and with that, they both agreed. Neville came back to the shed, feeling frustrated. Just then, however, it was 3 o'clock, and Connor was finally ready to go. Goodbye, said Connor. I'll take care of the Flying Kipper right now. Goodbye, Connor, said Donald and Douglas, and with that Connor was off. Connor was out of the sheds at last. He found the Flying Kipper waiting for him. He was coupled to it, and off he steamed to the dock. Neville had a plan for himself. He was going to follow Connor to the docks. He got out of the sheds, and then there was only Donald and Douglas in the sheds left. Where are you going? Asked Douglas. To get a new coat of paint. That's fine, said Donald. See you later, Neville, said Douglas, and with that, Neville was off. Neville whispered to himself, I'm not really going to get a new coat of paint. He thought, I'm just going to follow Connor at the docks, and he puffed away. He puffed past by Mighty Mac again. He found the two brake fans of the Flying Kipper, and Neville followed them around. Just then Connor didn't know that Neville was following him, and with that, Neville was still catching up. Connor sped along the line, and Neville wasn't even ready to catch up with him yet. He wanted to shout, wait for me, but he knew he couldn't. He knew he wasn't allowed to do that now he was on his own secret mission. Connor was almost there. He went up the hill. He stopped at Shake Shake Bridge. He was out of water and he couldn't move. Neville sped way too fast. He realised that Connor was stopped. He puffed so fast and bumped the brake vans a little too hard. The brake vans pushed Connor off the bridge. "Whoa," said Connor, "what's going on?" Suddenly, he crashed into the water. Connor wasn't hurt, but he was wet through, and the vans stayed on the rails. And with that, Neville finally had the flying kipper to himself, and he was going to take it to the docks. "Neville," thought Connor, I knew he was following me all this time. Gotcha this time. Gotcha this time, Connor said Neville, and then he reached the docks at last. And there was Cranky waiting for the flying kipper. "Hello, Neville," he said. "I thought Connor was going to take the flying kipper today. He's off sick today, so he's letting me do his work." "I don't think he has," said the familiar voice. It was the Fat Controller. The Fat Controller turned crossly to Neville. "You have caused confusion and delay, and I thought you know better than this," he thought. "I've told you that Connor was supposed to pull the flying kipper, and he's not. You are doing his work. Where's Connor right now?" Neville explained, and the Fat Controller listened. The Fat Controller was cross with Neville. "So, for my sake," said the Fat Controller, when Connor's back on the rails, you should give him back the flying kipper at once, and you should be put in the sheds, and then you'll be put in the sheds for the rest of the day." Neville sulked sadly away and left the flying kipper to the docks. And with that, Neville knew better than this. He knew better than to push an engine off the rails and steal their jobs.